This is a tweet from Tiffany. She wants to know, why are some farts squeaky and others silent? So we're going to answer this. Joined now by proctologist Dr. David Rosenfeld.
This is a serious
via
question.
Skype. Dr.
Travis on.
Doc, I was sitting there.
What's our topic today?
Well, you know what our topic is.
You just hit it. You know, it's funny. I was looking at the topics for the show, and I read this topic to my wife, and she goes, "Yeah, why is that? Why does that happen?"
Yeah.
So
no, it's a good question. Why and what does it reveal about our health? So this is what you do.
An amazing question, and this is why I became a proctologist, so I can stay a kid. I told my kids last night I'm going to be talking about farting tomorrow on the doctors, and they were so excited. I mean, kids love this stuff. Adults need to love this stuff. We fart 15 to 20 times a day. It's normal. When you sneeze, you put out so much gas and pressure, nobody cares. But when we fart, everyone thinks it's something really bad. So we have about 7 to 10 liters that enter our colon a day, and only a half a liter comes out. And that's because most is absorbed and breathed out through the lungs. And so when we swallow more air, when we chew gum or use a straw to drink, that builds up a lot of pressure. And I have this doctor's fart balloon, and when you have a lot of air and pressure, it sounds like this. Now, when the bacteria make gas, they make a lot less gas. So then you have a silent but deadly, because that gas has a lot of sulfur. It is. That's why it's deadly. It has methane, it has sulfur gas, and it doesn't have much sound. You can't even hear that, but man, when it goes, you don't want to be around.
Okay, so Dr. Rosenfeld, I have a hot date. What should I eat and not eat to make sure that my farts don't smell bad?
Eat anything you want. I mean, just eat anything you want, but do your best to hold it in, because if you try to squeeze real hard, right, or you have little tags, it's going to sound like this. And they'll know. So eat what you want. Don't really worry about it. I will tell you, there's no real health issue with farting. If you don't fart or you're bloated, that's a problem. See your doctor. But look, you're gonna fart, like you're gonna sneeze in front of them. You might as well just
How about this for throwing you a curveball? Is there any way to tell? You know, you're about to let a squeaker out. Is there any way to tell based on how you feel if it's gonna make a noise or not? Because, I mean, everyone's been in a situation where you're like, okay, I think I have this under control. You know, I don't think anyone's going to know.
Related to sphincter tone, that at times your anal sphincter is tighter, and other times and that's going to determine the sound of the trumpet.
If you feel that you've got to really let one loose, you know it's going to be loud. And the more you try to squeeze that sphincter, and it's going to make that, it's going to, that's it. And if you open the sphincter, right, if you just let it loose, it's going to sound like that. So you just best hold it in and get to a place where you can let it out. Or just let it out in front of them and just know that's who you are. And hey, we all do it 15 to 20 times a day.
All right, so term of the day is sphincter tone. And I guess if you really have to, just excuse yourself from company and do it in the privacy of some
probably
corner.
the best thing. Dr. Rosenfeld, the coolest dad in the world.
Yeah.
Gets to go on TV as a doctor and talk about farts.
Love it.
Good stuff. You know, you don't really think about these things until it comes to pass, and it really is hilarious. The whole silent but deadly theme.
Totally.
Until he just explained it, I never truly thought through that. But it does. It makes someone. That's all the bacteria's gas.
Totally.
I mean, those are the worst farts in the history of the world.
Man.
And it took me a while as a kid to figure out what was going on, because you know, no one in. When you're in a house, and I grew up in a family with, you know, my sister and my mom, they were never going to admit it. But in the long car rides, every now and then, it's like, I didn't do it. I would be like, what just happened? How does this?
And if you're
my mom and sister,
you would have heard it. So it's one of the.
Dad, no, I didn't do it.